And we got to look at it as like injuries plays a part in. Philadelphia, when they had their run last season, they really didn't have no injuries. They was solid all the way around from all three phases of their game: kickoff, offense, and defense. They were solid. And that's what Detroit is going to have to be as well. And I think that they will be. Um, Coach Campbell, what he's doing. Everybody who comes to Detroit now, and remember, once upon a time, did nobody want to come to Detroit, but now he's built something there. You know what I'm saying? Since the Wayne Fonts era, um, Coach Dan, he has really built a culture. He's built a team down there. So, okay, okay, all right. Well, look, I got to end this, man. They about
No,
to,
it's okay.
you know what I'm saying? My wife came out, man.
Tell
But
everybody where they can find you.
yeah, so I think Detroit they could be a 13-14. Their first game, if I'm not mistaken, is with Kansas City or Baltimore. I'm not mistaken, but they got the hardest schedule right now in the NFL.
Absolutely. Vince, let everybody know where they can find you real quick, please, on social media.
You can reach me on Facebook. It's Coach Vincent Fortner Bay. I have two Facebook pages. You can reach me on that. You can reach me on Instagram. It's Coach Vincent. TikTok, Coach Vincent. You can go to my email. It's vfortnerbay195 gmail.com. Hey, just you can reach me on social media. I'm on there all the time posting stuff. I coach and train football players after this season here with the Michigan Bills. I'm retiring from football. So, you can catch me on Facebook, Coach Vincent Fortner Bay.
Absolutely. Vince, my man, thank you so much for coming on. I really do
No
appreciate
doubt.
it. And I'll talk to you soon. Sound good?
No doubt. Y'all have a good one and thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Thank you,
And as
Coach.
always, go blue.
All right. What a fantastic way to start the show. And I have, I'm really excited about this one, which, by the way, like I told you, Cole, I have some really good friends. Shout out to my good friend, family friend, by the way, Braden Fajoko, Linda Villi,
Yeah.
all them, which, by the way, folks, in case you don't know, the entire Fajoko family is in Fiji right now. Braden is celebrating his wedding anniversary with his wife,
Oh
which
wow. All right.
out of them. I love them. Auntie Unk, I love you guys. Please give everybody in the Fajoko family love for us. Sam, appreciate you as always. But Cole, I'm really excited to hear, like, what have you really seen that could make this be one of like these seasons that could either make or break Mike Tomlin.
All right. So as we know, hey Maddie, I know you're watching, brother. This is
Look,
for you. This is a wide receiver one, brother. Okay, just had to put that on the record. I came 10 toes down, ready to debate with you, brother. I was looking forward to it. But I hope you're having a great night, Maddie, wherever you're at. I can't wait to debate with you next time I come on. But see this hat? This is a Ravens hat. Take it off. We put this one on. This is an unbiased football journalist hat. And you said, what about Mike Tomlin? How's he gonna break through this year?
yeah, this season could be a make or break. I mean, there's been a lot of transition that has happened with the Steelers, and I mean, I really want to know, like, could this be a make it or break it kind of season?
I definitely think this is a make it or break it for Mike Tomlin because the whole excuse ever since their Lord and Savior 7 retired over there in Yinsburg, their whole thing was like, oh, we don't have a quarterback. Oh, we have watched Russell Wilson. Oh, we have Justin Fields who never properly developed. Oh, we got Mason Rudolph, the reindeer that doesn't know what he's doing. And like
Love that.
now they finally got a quarterback, first ballot Hall of Famer, arguably Mount Rushmore, greatest of all time. Aaron Rodgers in the chat joining the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Aaron Rodgers in there now. I feel like Tomlin, he's going to survive the season no matter what. Unless they only win like 4 games, Mike Tomlin is surviving the season. But I think this is make or break it because it's kind of put up or shut up in my opinion. Like you always, complain about, oh, I don't got a quarterback. You got a quarterback. You got a Hall of Famer. Let's see what you do with it. I feel like even if they don't win a playoff game, I feel like he's still going to keep that job just because the Roonies are beyond loyal to him. But I feel like if he doesn't at least minimum win a playoff game with freaking Rodgers as their quarterback, I mean, I don't know what else to tell him. I love Tomlin. I think he's an amazing coach, but I think the message has gone stale.
Shane, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, as we mentioned, Mike Tomlin and his coaching, kind of make it break it for him.
My bad, guys.
You're okay.
You're good, but man, let's just shift the focus to the team and the on the field product now. They've made many moves this offseason that we've seen, and have significantly gotten better at certain positions they needed to get better at, in my opinion. What does this say for them that, hey, we're going to be a contender, or are they just getting everybody out there, and are they going to be pretenders?
So for those wondering, because obviously I've made it known how I'm a Ravens fan, and they're wondering how much Steelers football I consume. My best friend and co-host is a Steelers fan. My fiance is a Steelers fan. So I watch just as much Steelers football as Ravens football. So I feel qualified to answer this topic. And yes, they did shore up positions in need. They got that knucklehead George Pickens out of there and replaced it with DK Metcalf, who's slightly less of a knucklehead, but way more talented. And then they also, I feel like they should have took Jackson Dart in the draft. They missed on that, in my opinion, but hey, that defensive tackle could be really good. And then they went and got Jalen Ramsey. And I told Jordan when we talked Steelers how they didn't have that lockdown, in my opinion. Oh, great heavens. Anyways, so when they traded for Jalen Ramsey, I text Jordan. I said, Jordan, you guys are Super Bowl contenders now. This was the one thing that was missing. This was the one piece I got on the offensive line, above average to good, maybe even great if these year two guys develop. They got that rookie running back from Iowa. You can't go wrong with an Iowa running back. That's all they do. You got DK Metcalf. You got Freiermuth. You got that defensive line with Cam Hayward and TJ Watt if he ever gets his money. And then you got that linebacking core, which was good. The safeties were really good. Deshaun Elliott played above what they're paying him. They all just needed that lockdown. They got the lockdown. I said, Jordan, you guys are now finally Super Bowl contenders for the first time this decade. And then 10 minutes later, Adam Schefter said, nada. They traded Minka Fitzpatrick. I said, what on earth is going on? So that to me felt like a lateral move. But I think the Steelers, if Aaron Rodgers comes out and slings the pill, I'm worried about the coordinators because they have below average coordinators. But the Steelers, they put the pieces together, absolutely could make a Super Bowl run. All
right, Seth, got to go to you then, man, because I know you got this too. What do you think? I mean, do you kind of agree with what Cole is saying, or, I mean, could we really see a significant flop even happen?
I honestly could see a flop happening. I
can see it too. I can see it too. Don't worry.
The depth on the QB position is really low, I think, with, like you said, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer out there.
I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure, like, running back wise, do you really think that they're set there, Cole? Like, yes. Najee, Jalen out there?
So Najee left this offseason to go to the Chargers, but Caleb Johnson I'm high on. Jalen Warren, I don't see the vision. I think he's a good, like, number 2 back, but I think Caleb Johnson really could be a good starting running back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And
I see Warren carrying most of the load at the beginning of the season. Would be great for Caleb Johnson to get in there and really work in, because, he still didn't have a whole lot of production, in his years there in college. So, it's good to see. I'm high on him too. So, I think he was the second best running back behind Genty, in my opinion, for the NFL readiness part.
Wow. I like what you're saying on that. But look, this is a really good statement right here. Scott says, I could see a 7-10 season for the Steelers. The number 2 wide receiver right now is either Robert Woods, Roman Wilson, or Jonnu Smith, which Jonnu Smith is not a bad tight end. He did really good things for Atlanta and as a whole. But, I'm going to ask you this too, Seth, and then I'm going to go to Shane on the next question. Does Mike Tomlin's immaculate run of not having a losing season come to an end this year?
I think it could. I am coming on a prediction of maybe 7-10 low floor, 10-7 ceiling. I would probably go overall 9-8, especially with the division they're in. I'm definitely seeing maybe Ravens losses, Bengals losses, maybe even a Browns loss. So, also Rodgers is pretty old, and I don't know, would you say that Tomlin might be in the hot seat in like a year or two if things flop? That's kind of my question, actually.
What do you think, Cole?
If they go anything less than 10-7, I think the little lighter underneath his seat flicks on. I think the little 3 dots in his car appear on a seat, and it could start to get warm. But I think with the Rooneys, how committed they are to Mike Tomlin, it's still minimum, unless they only win 4 games this year. If they win 7 or more, Tomlin is not getting canned this year. It's going to take at least 2 more years of them being like 7-10 for him to get canned.
Shane, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, this is kind of, I want to go to Seth first, and then go to the next one on this. Since the Steelers have made moves this year, do you see them, being on the cusp of that, kind of playoff talk, in the running for a second, possibly even first in the AFC North, maybe making some moves towards the trade deadline and seeing what the market might be on some of their, other pieces that they may have. I know it hurts to lose defensive depth, but they've got plenty of it seems to be.
Yeah, I would say with Jalen Ramsey being added. Defensively, you've also got DK Metcalf, as mentioned before, on the offensive side. So I would say you have a good balance where you could get that 10-7 season, maybe be right behind like the Bengals. I would say, I would rank it this season. I would say Ravens first, Bengals second, Steelers third, and then Browns fourth in that division. But I do see Steelers could maybe next year be second. So that's my prediction.
All right, Shane, go ahead. Next question. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, Cole, I want to get your thoughts on that. Kind of, do you see the Steelers maybe making some moves inside the season?
So I think that the Steelers will finish second in the AFC North. The Bengals, dude, with how much they got going on, Trey Hendrickson, Shamar Stewart, just to name a few. They signed a stadium before they signed their first-round pick. Like, the Bengals, with all this chatter going on right now, I can easily see them having an 8-9, 9-8 year, which I'm cool with. I'm totally cool with them being 9-8. But the Steelers, I think what's the trade deadline again? Week 8?
I think so.
I believe so.
All right, week 8. If they're sitting like 5-3, 6-2, and there's like a disgruntled, maybe wide receiver, disgruntled corner, disgruntled safety, somewhere like a skill position that's disgruntled, and they want out, I can see the Steelers pushing their chips in the middle and being like, we have Aaron Rodgers for 1 year. We have a Hall of Famer for 1 year. So they're going to be like, we don't give a dang about 2026. We are in 2025. So to answer your question, yes, I totally see them pushing their chips in the middle if a good skill position player becomes available.
And don't mind. So in case you guys can't hear, Cole has like this massive storm going on. And then you can kind of hear in the background, I just, one of our guests actually, he's 10 minutes down the road from where I live too. And this huge flash of lightning just happened. I was like, wow. And then this loud clap of thunder just happened. So yeah, there's definitely some storms going on. But Seth, man, we're having you on again. I love having you on, brother. Does that sound good to you?
Oh, yes, brother. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I know I made a couple mistakes with Najee still being with the Steelers. I think that is one of the, yeah. Well, I think it just shows how crazy the NFL is with just so many transfers coming in.
But you heard what one of our guests have said though. What the NFL stands for is not for long.
Not for long.
So many people do say it's not for long. So I mean, it's a real thing, Seth. But Seth, man, enjoy the fact that you're not having these massive storms that we're having here. I mean, Cole's having them up in the north, and we're having them down here in the south. Man. Enjoy the fact that it's not scary lightning. But again, man, we're having you on again. I can't wait for it, brother. You take care of yourself. All right.
Yeah, you too, brother. See you.
I appreciate it, Seth.
Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, guys, we have another. Oh man, I'm so excited about this next guest. Shane, let everybody know what is the next team, sir.
Oh yeah, well, we figure we'll go ahead and keep it with the big off-season moves, and let's go ahead and bring our good friend Mr. Snowman on to talk about some of the Bears.
Oh boy, hang on, let me
Bears.
let me get his logo up here. and then we will bring them on. The Bears.
Duh, Bears.
Look, you've been
Oh, I got
booing
some
already.
questions for you, brother.
Are you kidding me?
Oh God, is that the Bears with a steel chair?
All right, so Shane, you have the first question, man. Go right ahead.
Oh yeah, well, Snowman, what we see is we saw a complete overhaul of the coaching staff this year. Bringing in some guys, Ben Johnson, Declan Doyle, Dennis Allen. What do you think we can expect to see, kind of scheme wise, with as many moves as they made this offseason to kind of shore up some of the positions, and kind of overall, what kind of team are we going to see? Because this is still a big question mark for everybody with the major overhaul.
A lot of Bears fans will not like my response, but it goes like this. Remember when Matt Uberfools, a.k.a. Eberflus, was brought in?
I love that. Oh, my gosh.
And they thought he would be the savior of the Chicago Bears? I rest my case. Now, I have nothing against Ben Johnson. Nothing. Okay? But the last 5 Bear coaches that have been in that culture, basically, I don't know what else. I don't know which other way to put it, because within 3 years, they all got a tiger uppercut out of town. And that's because it's not the team, it's the culture. I said that the last time I was here. I will continue to say it until I see different things. The culture of the 80s was built on 2 things: running and defense. The Bears do not run the football as often as they need to or should. And now you get a creative mind like Ben Johnson into the fold, and you have an unproven commodity by the name of Caleb Williams. Right? You have a proven commodity in Ben Johnson and an unproven commodity named Caleb Williams. And as I say often on my show, Snowman in the Morning, the Bears have risked, doubled down, blown up, thrown away, and shot in the river their entire future for DJ Moore. Next question.
I mean, you just hit the nail on the head on that one, too. All right, so I want to ask you this, Brian, okay?
Yes, sir.
Could Caleb Williams actually be a bust?
Oh, I was going to ask that. Good question.
Caleb Williams was a bust when he left Oklahoma for Southern California. Does that answer your question?
Whoa!
I have thought that
He had.
Shane will tell you, I have said the same exact thing.
I will say it loud and proud. Caleb Williams had 1 good game in college. 1. And it wasn't even a complete game. He was thrust into the game due to an injury. And that is the game, the comeback game against Texas. The look on Cole's face says it all. Okay? You're trying to compare Caleb Williams. Dear God in heaven, help me. I mean, they brought in Caleb Williams mid-game because they were down 28-7 to replace Spencer frickin' Rattler. Does that tell you something? I mean, the game was great, but that was the best game of Caleb Williams' career. He peaked on that day, and he died on that day.
Cole, man, I know your mouth just hit the ceiling on that one. Go ahead, man. Ask a question, brother.
I'm so...
Yeah, that's some rough weather.
I rest. Thank Cole. That should answer your next question.
But coach, I'm ready to play.
Zeus just told you no right there.
Come on.
Oh man,
Zeus said the heck with that.
Exactly.
I'm not having that.
Shane, I know you got a question, man. Go right ahead.
Oh yeah, well no. Let Cole go ahead. I'm ready to hear this one.
Yeah, come on, Cole. Let's get it, brother.
All right. First off, Brian, I just want to say I love your moxie, dude. You are an absolute hoot. But first off, it's kind of a 2-part question. All right. You kind of answered the Caleb Williams part, but so with the whole Caleb Williams situation, like, what do you realistically see happening? Like, can Ben Johnson save him? Like, at what point? I mean, you already kind of answered this, but at what point do you think Bears media is going to fully turn on him if he comes out to a slow start?
of all the questions in all the cities and all
It's a
the
two-part.
towns and
It's
all
two-part.
the worlds, he asked me this one.
I got 2 parts. I got 2 parts.
Okay, I'll answer your first part right here, right now. Can Ben Johnson save Caleb Williams? I believe this will tell you my story.
Okay, all right. Let me ask the second part then. All right, let me ask the second part then. All right, so
Yes, sir.
by going by what you're saying, that Caleb Williams is absolute crap and needs to be kicked the heck out of Chicago.
He needs to be kicked to the curb faster than Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins.
All right, so let's
No
say
argument
then
there.
that the McCaskies are like, you know what? We don't know how to run a football team. We need Brian Snow, and they let you inherit the team. What do you do? How do you save your beloved Bears if you're the owner?
First of all, I tell him thanks, but no thanks, because my team is out in the Bay. Second of all, if they allowed me to inherit the team, I tell all of them,
stop the cap
and get everybody in there and build from scratch. You can't, folks. Get Rodgers to play for the. Give me this button.
I love this.
Give me this button.
I mean, come on, you got it. This is awesome.
Aaron bleeping Rodgers, really? No. That would make every true Bear fan say,
"You know what? That makes me mad."
Let me answer that. I think Irish Puffin is the person who comes.
You're
Get Rodgers to get Rodgers to play for the Bears. In the immortal words of the great Paul Allen, "Are you kidding me?" No.
You're a googly moogly.
It'll be a long time if that's the case, and even with the case that they have now with Ben Johnson and company, you have Caleb Williams as your quarterback. Are you going to actually give Caleb Williams the keys to your offense, Ben Johnson, and actually trust him to turn and hand the ball off to DeAndre Swift and let him have a 1,000-yard season? Because if you don't do that and get back to what made you who you are, there will be none of this talk either.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
I love that.
I love how well lined up he has these. He knows
I
exactly
know, right?
where
He
he's
knows
going.
how to hit you on the head on the
This guy's a pro. He knows exactly where he's going in his sentences.
Hey, listen, I'm still learning. Even 30 years in the game, I'm still learning because I just got a couple new things here, and I'm working.
Man, you're kicking wholesale rear end, man. You're doing awesome.
I
Dude,
appreciate
you have a question. Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, we can talk about it all we want, but let's get down to the brass tacks of things. Realistically, with this team that they have assembled, with the coaching staff, with all the noise around and what we see, man, where do you see them? Do you see them as maybe a first overall draft pick next year, or kind of give us your realistic outlook with what they have on the field right now?
Now he didn't just say a cuss word at me and say realistic, did he?
Yeah.
And with that thought in mind, you can look at this upcoming season and you just think one thing.
I love it. I love it.
Because it would take a miracle for them to get up that vine and get out of the hole of mediocrity that the Steelers are going to inherit. Okay? Listen. Let me break down my vision of the Bears, and it's pretty simple. It starts with that spaceship they call a stadium called Soldier Field. You should have just pushed the plunger, but I understand you want to keep the columns, okay? The columns identify what Soldier Field is. Hello, Chicagoan here. I get that. But couldn't you have done better with the modernization of Soldier Field?
Definitely.
Now, granted, I love calling games in Soldier Field. I've done a couple prep bowls in there. I've done a couple college football games in Soldier Field. That's where it starts. But they treated Soldier Field as if they were saying this. And get it built so they don't spend any more time in Champaign, Illinois at Memorial Stadium. Second of all, you've gone through You've gone through coach after coach after coach, and offense after offense after offense after offense. Dear God in heaven, I just saw this chat, and I will touch on that. I just saw it. Okay, but you put a lot of this into a team that spent a lot more of to DJ Moore.
You don't like DJ Moore?
No.
Oh God.
I will say this too, Colt. Not a lot of
DJ,
people in Carolina
listen,
like them
I'll
either.
say it again. The Bears have risked, mortgaged, bought, refinanced, sold, and thrown away their entire future for DJ Moore.
Wow.
I mean, that's like DK Metcalf to the Steelers. You're removing one knucklehead for another knucklehead.
Hey, that's very real.
Is there anyone you do like, Brian?
On the Bears?
Yes.
Yeah, but they won't use him. DeAndre Swift.
Oh.
Look, Cole Kmet's going to get underused, underserved, undervalued, and underexposed.
But
he needs to be the focal point of their offense.
Yeah, okay.
But they won't make it. They won't make him such.
I don't know.
Sam Laporta was kind of in Detroit.
That's Sam Laporta. That's talent. That's a good tight end that's going to get better.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what I'm talking about.
Different.
But look at what they did with Gibbs. Swift is a bigger, same athleticism as Gibbs.
As I started this conversation with, look at the culture.
Yeah, that's very true.
Look at the culture. All right, you're talking about a team that once upon a time employed one of the greatest running backs to ever play the game in Walter Payton.
No, he is the greatest. I'm sorry, he is the greatest. Let's just be honest. Look, Jim Brown's a great running back.
Brandon,
Payton Sweetness is the best.
This is where I will fight you.
Okay.
I have two in my top three coupled with Walter Payton, and one of them no one would expect, who should be in the Hall of Fame now, but isn't for some strange reason. My top two running backs are Walter Payton and Barry Sanders. My third, my third, look up the name Roger Craig.
Oh, I know Roger Craig.
Yeah, I know that name right away. Oh my God! But come on, you got to really realistically sit there and say, I mean, Walter Payton is, he was unlike any other running back.
I agree.
To play, and I think
I watched most of the career of Walter Payton. That's why when people ask me who my top three running backs are, I don't put them in order. Roger Craig, Barry Sanders, and Walter Payton. Okay. I don't put them in any kind of order because they all represented the same thing at different points in time.
Don't mind me. I see behind us, by the way.
About 5 seconds. NFL, you have done Roger Craig a disservice by not putting him in the Hall of Fame.
I didn't know he wasn't in the NFL or the Hall of Fame.
He is. If you can celebrate Christian McCaffrey having 1,000 season, if you can celebrate Marshall Faulk having 1,000 season with and couple that with the Hall of Fame induction, why can't you do the same for Roger Craig?
I thought Roger Craig was in. That's crazy. He should be in.
I'm going to do a standalone video on that very soon when I
You should, and I will tune in. I am. I love your
Ryan,
back to the Bears.
Yes.
That's
come on, shenanigans. You're going to set him off.
It's because actually he went to the Raiders and tarnished his reputation before he wound up with the Vikings. Trust me. But his reputation was tarnished by NFL writers. Anyway, as far as the Bears go,
give us your predictions as to what the season could be for them.
You really want me to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
You really want me to do that?
Yes,
we do.
Yes, we want to hear.
I will do this quickly.
Don't mind me.
Take a look.
Oh, he's typing in the chat.
Oh yeah. I'm. How many? Okay. The Tiger Stripes Media. The question is out. All right. We can just look at the preseason as a total loss. All right.
Okay.
The preseason's going to have their second and third stringers. All right. I am going to play this. I am going to do this as fairly as I can and be as truthful as I can. First of all, they start with the Minnesota Vikings.
Tiger uppercut.
And then they have to go to the Detroit Lions.
Tiger uppercut.
And then they have to face the Dallas Cowboys.
Yoga fire.
That's an anarchy game waiting to happen. That's a tie. Then you get the Las Vegas Raiders. They should be able to give the Raiders a couple of and pick up their first win.
Dude, I would have loved to see his reaction to the Hail Mary.
Then they get. You don't want that. You don't want to hear how loud I screamed my head off when that Hail Mary happened in the nation's capital. And speaking of which, they go play the Washington Redskins.
Tiger uppercut. Sonic boom. Oh, you can.
Then the New Orleans Saints.
Yoga fire.
Throw it
You
away.
have to beat the Saints. Come on.
Throw it away. Who's the Saints quarterback?
Dude, Ohio State could beat the Saints. Come on.
Spencer Rattler, I think.
The Saints quarterback.
Tyler Show.
Tyler Show.
Tyler Show.
Spencer
Listen,
Rattler.
do you really want to spend money? Do you really want to spend money to go to Soldier Field to see Tyler Show versus Caleb Williams?
No.
Do you really want to spend your hard-earned money for that?
No, but you should still win that game.
No. That's going to be a scoreless tie without overtime.
Hulk Hogan's famous double
The
dunk
referees are
count.
going to listen. The referees are going to call the game after the final play, and no one scored. The referees are just going to walk off and be done with it. Okay.
I love it.
They'll get pummeled in Baltimore. They'll get blitzed by Baltimore, crowned in Cincinnati. Even Jackson Dart and the New York Football Giants.
Come on.
Will
You have to beat the Giants.
Jackson Dart will lay 4 bills on the Chicago Bears in that week.
Wow.
Then, of course, they play the Vikings. We all know what happens there. And then they face Aaron bleeping Rodgers. If I wasn't happy that a game did not start at 4:25 or 3:25, that would be the one. You know what you do when the Bears play the Pittsburgh Steelers? You put it on NFL Network. You put it behind 24 paywalls and make it so difficult to access. No one wants to watch that. Get out of here. And then they face the world champion Eagles. Do I need to tell you how that's going to go?
No, sir. We know how it's going to go.
No, we
So
got
overall,
that. We got that one.
Then they have to go to Lambeau Field and the frozen tundra. Do I need to tell you how that's going to go?
Nope, we got that one too.
And then you have the most anarchy of anarchy games this entire season. You have Caleb Williams and the Bears hosting, God help me, the Cleveland Browns.
That
Do
game,
you
they should
really-
pay people to go to
and
that game.
I love that.
The Cleveland Browns, who don't know what in God's name they are doing when it comes to drafting a team, building a team, coaching a team. They haven't known it. They haven't had any success, and I don't count 2020 because there were dire circumstances there. They haven't gotten it right since 2002.
Can you imagine if Brian was a Browns fan?
Oh my gosh. All right, so look, we have somebody who says they go 5-12. What do you have them going? 0-17?
Oh, and 22.
14-3.
Okay. 3 ties and 14 losses.
NFL record 3 ties.
NFL record. I like that.
Yes.
Oh,
And
Put that on a
then
graphic. Put that on a graphic.
they get hammered by Green Bay at home. They go see my team in Santa Clara, and Brock Purdy will give them 3 bills and a half. First half.
someone
that
says
is.
1-16.
No. Well, if they get 1, it'll be Vegas. If they get 1 win, it'll be Vegas.
I'd give them 2
And
Vegas.
and that'll be that'll be the peak of the Bears season. Bears somehow lose 20 games this season, and 3 of them are preseason games. What does that tell you?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Brian, where can everybody find you, sir?
Snowman in the Morning is on every weekday at 11 a.m. You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/@Snowman Multimedia. That's where y'all can find me. My 2 new websites, snowmanmultimedia.com and Snowman Sports.
In the bye week. I love that question.
How do you lose on the bye week? The Steelers have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. The Bears have Caleb Williams as their quarterback. The Cleveland Browns don't have a quarterback, period. There's 3 examples of how you lose on your bye week as it is, okay? No, flag on the tape. No, not 31-3, 41-3.
I tried to help. I tried.
I love it. Brian, we're having you on again, but in the meantime, real quick, when is your next broadcast, sir?
I'm on tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for
That's Central?
Snowman in the Morning.
That's Central,
11 Eastern, 10 Central.
Okay.
10 a.m. Central time. Oh man.
Very good. Brian, man, I appreciate you. I will talk to you again soon, sir. You have yourself a wonderful evening. Please give Miss Jody our best, okay?
Will do. I love you guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Brian.
All right,
that guy is the GOAT.
Yes. Look, we have these 2 gentlemen right here that we're about to have on. I believe they're brothers. But before we get them on, though, make sure you guys ask about the Austin Powers wig and planking. And as you know, right now, they're literally laughing in the background. My man Kyle is sitting right here with his buddy or brother, Alex. Hey, guys.
Not a brother. He wishes.
Yeah.
I don't. I do not.
I think Kyle. Yep. All right, Kyle. Look, man, you guys are basically divided. Look, you're Alex, you're the Vikings. Kyle, you're the go pack go. Let's start with the Packers, okay?
Let's not. As we should.
Let's start with the Packers. Yeah.
Sorry, my girls hear the ice cream truck. And there's like a storm like no tomorrow going on in the.
You know what's funny? Kyle hears the ice cream truck all the way from over here too.
Yeah, because it's literally parked right outside of our house. But that's
priorities, Brandon. Ice cream.
The priorities. I know my girls go.
We're smarter than everyone. I have an app for that.
I have an app for that.
There you go.
I love it. All right, Kyle. So let's go right into it, man. This season has kind of been like an unusual season, to say the least. Okay, an absolutely crazy off season for everything. Could Jordan Love save Green Bay? And Alex is looking at you like you're dumbfounded, but could Jordan Love save? I mean, I know you did mention yesterday Jordan Love. Is he not mentioned in the top those quarterback questions we asked? But again though, could Jordan Love realistically save Green Bay? Because I mean, Green Bay, they're only 1 or 2 plays away from being a disastrous, shipwreck.
Oh wow! Shots fired. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. No, I'm. Uh-oh. Lost you.
You're good. We got you.
We hear you. We see you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Jordan Love last year, I think it was a little unfair to truly judge him. Definitely based off of the season he had prior. Because he was injured most of the year. I mean, he was mobile for half the season, or immobile half the season. And we still ended up making the playoffs, and what was he, top 10 in touchdown passes, I think, something like that. So I think this year is going to be a true judge of where he's really at, whether he's really going to be our savior or the next Aaron Rodgers. If he stays healthy, I think with the new speed that they just added this offseason, I think they're going to do some big things on offense. So I truly believe he can do another top 5 finish like he did 2 seasons ago.
What do you think, Shane? Go ahead.
Well, we see Green Bay getting a lot of love this offseason, and yes, pun is intended on that one.
I thought so.
But we see Green Bay and Washington being mentioned as those teams that are going to take over maybe those top 2 spots with what the moves that they've made in the offseason. and all. Realistically, with the product you guys are putting out on the field, and still a couple questions around Love. What do you see? Do you see that actually being a realization this year, where you guys could be one of the top 2 contenders in the NFC?
We have a lot to figure out. My biggest concern about this football team right now, I think, is on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, defensively, getting rid of Jair. Obviously, he hasn't really been there for us. They say one of the best things about a player is their availability. But if we don't get the defensive back situation figured out, I am kind of concerned. I know we added Isaiah Simmons this offseason, which was great. Nate Hobbs. But again, he's still, I don't know where he's at. I mean, he's been okay for Raiders, but I don't know if he's going to be a true bona fide number 1. Because right now, I would say Nixon's our number 1, and I think you'd agree that that's not a strong number 1. So, but if we can figure out that position, I think a lot of things are falling into place for us. So, number 1 contenders. Not sure yet. I have to see a little more from their front office, filling positions, things like that. So,
what do you think, Cole?
I mean, the Green Bay Packers, to me, it seems like they could really use a guy like Jair Alexander on their team. So I heard they're having open tryouts for cornerback. So I'll fly up to Wisconsin next week if I can go ahead and make that. Because you guys were having a wide receiver do cornerback drills and rookie minicamp I saw. That's dire straits, brother. That's not good. I was more focused. I was going to ask you a question about Jordan Love's consistency, but now that you brought up the defense, man, I mean, what's the fix here? I mean, you could get like a Stephon Gilmore, but is he really still a number 1? I mean, what's the course of action here? Because if you guys don't fix that cornerback room, you could be in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, they still have some cap space left, and especially when they're spreading out Jair's payout of the whatever it is. But I don't know. I just I was actually hoping for a Jalen Ramsey type of guy. I mean, he's kind of getting seasoned as well, but that would have gave us some hope. But I guess I really don't know who's out there now that could really make an impact. That's why I'm concerned about the defense. So the defense is going to be one of the biggest struggles, because last year I think one of their I don't know what you want to call it, downfalls was not being able to get off the field on 3rd down. We had to be one of the middle of the pack to bottom of the league and getting off the field, and I think that killed us at times in the season. So yeah, in terms of defense, that remains to be seen. I think offensively, I'm more excited about that side of the ball than I am defense right now, which is not a great thing.
Let's do this. Let's play floor and ceiling. Kyle, give us your floor and give us your ceiling.
Yeah, I think I actually wrote it down. Yeah, so I think our floor is 10 games. I think that's the floor, especially if we don't figure out some things, because we do have a gauntlet with some of our. I think we're like the eighth worst schedule in terms of strength. So I think 10 games is our floor. And I think our ceiling is about 12 games.
All right. And then Shane wants to know. Go ahead, Shane.
Oh, yeah. Well, what is the matchup going to be like when Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers come back in? What kind of treatment do you expect out of that game?
Oh,
I think when for the Packers fans, again, we have a lot of love, and I think it'll be a mixed bag. But I think there will be more cheers than there will be boos. You'll still hear the boos, trust me, because there's no question. He was a diva at times. I still love him, man. He did so much.
Y'all dealt with it before, though.
We loved
it. Yes, Shane.
I mean, it almost took the same course, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And if he would have went to the Vikings, man, I don't know what I would have done.
Alex,
I don't know what I would have done.
But no, I think he's going to be well received by most. But of course, you're going to hear the boos. But I think it's going to be a positive experience for him. And then obviously coming back into the stadium and seeing the coaches that he loved and some of the players that he loved. And so I think it's going to be positive overall. Green Bay Packer fans are, we're still pretty loving, especially when you do something special for the organization. So
Oh yeah, well, and y'all paid him. You own the team, so
So that was the Bears, I believe. You
So
own the
look,
Bears.
we've heard your floor, we've heard your ceiling. Give us your absolute expectation record wise for the Packers. Let's just throw it out there.
yeah, I mean, I actually have them at 11-5. That's my realistic. I think they'll probably drop.
11-6, you mean?
Sorry, 11-6. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm going backwards, but yeah. So 11-6. I think we have some tough games. The Lions are still going to be the Lions. I know they got some stuff to figure out with their offensive scheme now, but we do got to play the Vikings, and they sometimes can get lucky and steal a game
or two.
Anyways, but yeah, so we got a Commanders. We're starting out with the Lions. We just got so many challenging games I think I think 11 games is where we're at. I think we'll get in the playoffs again. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping they figure out the spots we need to and we can make a run. So
I like it. Let's switch next to who's sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna do the school cheer if we get him to.
Oh!
All right, so I got to ask you real quick, by the way, Kyle and Alex.
Yeah.
Who wears it better? The Austin Powers wig. Is it Kyle, or would Alex be the one that should really wear it?
Well, here's the thing. That was my original Halloween costume, and I did win a dance off at the costume party. So, I mean, I took second place, I took first place in the couples competition for costumes with Austin Powers.
I love it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you're passed out and sulking from the Packers loss. So.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, I love it. Alex, dude, I gotta ask you. This team, I don't know, like they overperformed everybody's expectations last year. They absolutely did. I mean, you had a once in a lifetime kind of performance with Sam Darnold. I mean, Shane knows a lot about Sam Darnold because he is a Carolina Panthers guy. But this team is going to have JJ McCarthy back, and I know JJ McCarthy is a good player. We all know it. But I mean, realistically, like, what have you seen this offseason that could say, "Oh, we're absolutely back, and we're going to be better than last year"?
Here's the thing. So, being a true Vikings fan, if you are a Vikings fan, you know that you expect great things and you expect to be let down when it matters most. That is just the core of being a Vikings. Need I remind you of a certain field goal from Mr. Perfect? But when we talk about JJ McCarthy and we go back to that, the thing is, I think a lot of what is happening right now, it relies on KOC, our head coach. The thing is, look what he did with Josh Dobbs. I mean, a guy who came into our organization, didn't even know the plays, and he had him winning games. So here's the thing. I like JJ McCarthy. He was great in college. NFL is a different game. He is yet to prove himself in the NFL. I think and I hope that he's going to do great things for us. But when you take KOC and you match him up with Sam Darnold and pull off what he pulled off last year, I think that you can do that with a halfway decent quarterback no matter what. Not to mention the weapons that you've got with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison out there. So I think the Vikings are primed for another amazing season, just for them to let us down when it matters most. So we're ready. We're ready. Bring it on.
So, like everybody just heard at the beginning, I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, diehard. They don't call us the cardiac kids for nothing. We know what it's like to have all this. Oh my God, and then no, it happens. Shane, you have a question. Go ahead, brother.
Oh yeah, well, you guys still have one of the best defensive coordinators in the game, to me, and Brian Flores, and he's continually in the top 10 of defenses, throughout his many years as a coordinator and a head coach. What do you expect from that side of the ball this year?
Here's the thing. I was surprised that we kept him. I thought he was going to snag a head coaching position somewhere. I really was. And so the fact that he stayed here, I think he's got a bone to pick with the NFL, and he has got something to prove for himself this year. What I love about his defense is that he gives the players the options to be their own leaders and make decisions on the fly. And that's what you see very consistently on that defense. Not to mention, we got Harrison Smith, who re-upped for 1 year, which I personally think will be his farewell tour. There's a lot of people that have a lot to prove, mainly Brian Flores. And I think Brian Flores does even a quarter of what he did last year. I think that we've got a great defense coming on here. I love Brian Flores. I think he's done fantastic for our organization. And I honestly wish him the best when he gets a head coaching position next year.
You're right. Brian Flores, man, he is. He plays. Or he coaches one of the absolute stifling defenses. I love it. And I played defense. I played it. I love defense. We had Rashid Simmons on last night from the Giants, and it just something about defense. Defense is just it's offense is fun, but defense wins you championships. I absolutely love it. I think we are in store for an absolute, amazing NFC North run. But let's go and ask, we're going to do the same game we play with Kyle. Let's play floor and ceiling. Give us your floor and give us your ceiling.
Kyle knows exactly what I'm going to say.
Undefeated.
17-0. I knew it.
my floor?
Yes.
17. My ceiling? 17. Playoffs? 1-0. We're going to go right out.
I was going to say 1-0.
I think the playoff ceiling is a little high. I think the playoff ceiling is a little high.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
No, I mean, I as a true Vikings fan, I'm gonna say it. This is our year, man. I do think that we got the options to go to the Super Bowl this year. It's all gonna ride on whether or not JJ McCarthy can pull it off.
Well, how excited you're getting. JJ McCarthy has played 5 snaps and has 1 meniscus tear. All right.
Well,
go Vikings!
What's a successful season for
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Cool. I love it.
I'll sing the fight song.
Oh, man.
In the Austin Powers wig. Realistically, they got the stuff to do it. They had the stuff to do it last year. Nobody believed them. Playoff jitters or whatever happened there. Look at this. You've got Justin Jefferson, who is yet to win a playoff game. He is hungry. That guy is primed and ready to just go. And like I said, JJ McCarthy, Kyle mentioned it, hasn't really played a real snap in the NFL yet. So he's yet to prove himself. So there's that. But, worst case scenario, we can fulfill the prophecy. If JJ McCarthy doesn't do well, we can trade for Rodgers, bring him in, and fulfill the prophecy. Just like
I was waiting to see if you were going to say something about Aaron Rodgers and follow the exact same path that Brett Favre did. Absolutely.
Hey, by the way, that Super Bowl was stolen from us that year.
It was.
Brett Favre had the bounty program out on him.
Yeah, the hollow hit and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Kyle. I got to ask you where. And I want, because look, as you see, we have 1,360 people watching. Tell everybody where they can find you.
The main places you can find us are on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Those are our main ones. You can do a link tree and do Serious Shenanigans podcast as well. That has all of our social medias. So that's where you can find us.
And when's your next episode or clip that y'all are going to put out?
We do plan to do a couple clips here. We're going to get back into that. We kind of got away from doing some of our skit-based stuff. We didn't want to go too heavy on that. But next Tuesday is our next episode.
Yeah, we got a good episode coming out the following Tuesday where we don't just talk football, although that is a big underlying factor of what we do. But we have a lot of fun. We're serious, but man, we have a lot of shenanigans with what we do.
I love it.
And we have a Scottish guy joining our podcast. We're not going to.
Tuesday.
My mom was born
the
in
Scottish
Scotland,
Warrior.
So.
Look, guys,
what's that called?
The Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre.
Close. You're gonna have to find out who it is, but
Yeah.
Absolutely, I will.
Look, to all of our
Entertaining.
people watching right now, I want you to go click on their podcast, subscribe, follow, share everything. Alex, Kyle, brothers, I appreciate you guys to the max.
Thank
You have
you.
no idea how much this means to us to have you guys come on. I'm honored. I really am honored to have you guys there. Kyle, as you and I both said, man, I'm glad we've connected. We're going to have
Yeah,
you guys
that
on
was
again. And
Yeah, this is
you'll
great.
best believe that we're going to have you on regularly. Sound good?
Heck yeah, we'll be there.
Let's get some skulls in the chat.
Go Packers. Lambeau Leap, baby.
Skull, baby, skull.
Shut up.
I
think
love
the
it.
10 limit.
Guys, you guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk soon.
too.
Sound good?
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Later, fellas.
Oh man, that was
That was great.
So much fun.
They fight like brothers. I love it.
Yes, I love it. Pensman, good to see you, brother. All right, we have a guy. This guy right here is going to actually talk to us about some Niners. And look, Brian, I hope we have a guy named Ben as well. Our man Ben is going to share some love with us as well. Hey, make sure you guys follow this gentleman right here. Immediately follow him. The dude has some of the best content you will ever find, and he's got some good connections. All right, guys, you ready to bring on our next two guests? I am ready to do it. Ben and our man Brian. Brian and Ben, man, guys, how are y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing great. How
The
about you?
thunderstorm is going crazy though.
Yes, like it's going like I don't know if you guys know this. All right, so Brian lives in Easley, just like I do. And it's stormed. It's been stormed. It's like lightning like crazy. And then ironically, my wife and I are sitting here looking and we're like, what is it we hear? The ice cream truck is literally pulling behind us.
Brian
and we're
never
like, what is
stops,
going
brother.
on?
Come on now.
Yeah, there it goes.
Oh my God. Like it was the ice cream and it's so much fun. But man, I'm excited to talk because Brian, you actually mentioned this article to me about a potential trade, a crazy trade, by the way. You know, could you kind of maybe mention it, sir?
Oh, we're
Yeah,
putting this
it's
on there.
a three-way. I think it's a three-way trade where it's going to involve Brock Purdy going to. I forgot what it is now, but it's a three-way. It's a three-way trade, and it's a crazy trade. Let me tell you, it would blow your mind if it doesn't happen, but I don't think it's going to happen because you're going to have.
It's a 14 trade, by the way.
The Saints would probably get Brock Purdy, and it would be a crazy trade. It's just one of them crazy trades.
The Niners would get Kirk Cousins, okay, and then the Dolphins would get Brock Purdy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The New Orleans Saints would get Tua Tagovailoa, and the Falcons would get Matt Hennessy. Now, also, there's some draft picks mentioned as well, but this is absolutely like a bizarre mentioning of a trade. But you know, Brian, this offseason has kind of been like a fire sale really for the Niners. Look, I know about Kyle Shanahan. The whole state of Georgia, the city of Atlanta absolutely hates him. You know, I mean, and for rightful reasons, because you just can't run the daggone ball to get, one first down and win the Lombardi, but that's for another day.
Yeah, that's for another day, another talk.
But, what have you seen this offseason that, can give the Niners a glimpse of hope?
Well, I was just looking at their draft picks. You got the Williams guy from Georgia. He's going to probably help Bose out on one side to the other. And then you got Alfredo Collins, who's another defensive. They've got like a lot of defense, but my only concern is the corners. I mean, is it going to be a misfire on that? So that's just my thought. It's going to be the defense. The whole entire thing is going to be the defense. And what they've seen is, I just wish CMC would actually get better. Who's going to step up after him? And that was just my thing.
That's a very prominent question with him. People sit there and they say Christian McCaffrey, he's a great player. Look, his dad was a fantastic player. I loved watching McCaffrey play growing up.
Yeah, he's good.
He was a fantastic look. CMC, And Shane, I want to bring you in this too, real quick. And Ben, also, I want you to chime in. Call everybody. Time on this one.
Yeah.
Did he get overworked in Carolina?
No.
I believe he did.
I don't believe he was overworked in Carolina, but I believe that what happened was, I'm reading a book right now, the Last Folk Hero, Bo Jackson. I'm getting into the part when he starts getting hurt. I think that's kind of been the downfall. Once he started getting hurt, it's kind of just gone downhill. Of course, modern medicine is amazing. We see Tiger Woods have back surgery and come back and play golf.
And win the Masters, by the way.
Yeah. I think at the caliber he was playing at was peak physical shape, and now the injuries have taken their toll on him.
Well, look what Pinsman just said here. Pinsman just said, no way he is overworked in San Francisco.
Yeah, well, and I see that, but also they're very wary of him getting back on the field with the injury concern. So he's still a very electric player, and athleticism speaks for itself on the field. So I could see a bigger jump in production this year, but like I said, those injuries just have taken toll on his body.
What do you think, Ben?
It's a classic case of the Madden curse, man.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so glad someone brought that up. Thank you.
Yeah, the Madden curse.
He's not been the same.
I genuinely think, I don't think I agree with the previous commenter. I don't believe he's being overworked in San Fran. But that's because San Fran is probably the greatest case in the NFL of the RBBC, the running back by committee. I mean, they run what, 2, 3, sometimes 4 running backs in a given game. So, I mean, yeah, of course he's not being overworked now, but I think if the question is what has caused him to go through the severe injury that he's gone through, I think I disagree with Cole. I think he was overworked in Carolina. I mean, you look at how they used him. I mean, yeah, he's an incredible talent. It's hard not to use him, but with a team like Carolina, I could not tell you who the second running back was behind him before he left. I mean, I couldn't tell you who it was because Carolina didn't use him. I mean, for the first 4 or 5 years of the NFL, I'd like to know what his usage rate was. I need to research that, but I'd be willing to bet it was well over 85%.
And Brian, you're right on. I want to ask you this too, because you have to have seen this too. Like Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I can remember. And look, Matt Rupp. Oh God,
Matt Rupp.
Yeah, Matt Rupp. Their old coach. I feel he overworked him, and injuries absolutely are taking a toll on him. But do you think, Brian, that CMC is overused in the game now?
The first year that he was at San Francisco, I think he didn't know. He knew the playbook, but I think that they were one-dimensional. They were just running him. And then you had Deebo Samuel, who at the time was a receiver, and I think they just switched him off and off. Now, here's another key point that I kind of hinted a while ago, and I found this out too. Don't forget about Jordan James out of Oregon, the Oregon Ducks running back. He ran a 4.37s and a 40 dash at the combine. So if they do, and then I brought up this. Let's see. This is their depth chart. That I pulled for ESPN, but that's just their depth chart right there, and you can see it's Brock Purdy, Matt Jones, and them. And then you got, the receiving core,
Brandon Ayuk. That's a good question right there. Like,
yeah,
what realistically could come about with Brandon Ayuk?
I think he's going to be a type of person that they are actually going to use as maybe a decoy, because if you're going to concentrate on CMC, if you're going to key on him, then you're going to have Ayuk wide open. And don't forget Jenkins. Jenkins is a good player. I had him on my fantasy league last year, and he was just blown away. I think he beat Debo a lot of times, but the only thing is he's got to catch the ball more. I think it's going to be a lot of what are they going to do. Actually, you just never know what Shanahan's going to do.
That's true. Shane, go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, we've seen the Niners make a bunch of moves this offseason, and they particularly brought in a lot more defensive help that help them out over the pieces that they've lost. But we really haven't seen much offensively. I know they kind of went in on the draft a little bit on the offensive side more than what they normally do. But kind of give us your thoughts on what pieces that you guys are bringing in that could be the core contributor, and could that put y'all back via no injuries kind of deal into that conversation for the NFC West title?
Well, Shane, my thing is it's going to be defense. Last year, it wasn't really about defense because you didn't have CMC back there. So the defense were just keying off of, okay, we're just going to go up to, getting Debo double teamed. Now with him being gone, my concern is the corners, the defensive, look at that area in the spring ball, the summer into the fall, and then look at the regular season. That's my downfall is what is the core of the defense going to actually look like down when they're going to pass rush? Who's going to be their main pass rush this year? I mean, you're going to double team deep. I mean, not Debo, but you're going to double team Boza. I mean, that's the only defense right there. I haven't paid much attention to it, but you still got some veterans on defense. But I think it's going to be on the defensive side where they're going to struggle at a lot this year.
What do you think, Ben? What realistically do you think could be the pitfall for the Niners?
I kind of tend to agree with Brian. I think the defense has a lot of question marks. I think the secondary in San Francisco I can't remember the last time they've actually been great. I know that sounds like a bold take, but I feel like the reason the 49ers defense has been so strong for so many years has not been their secondary. It's been their pass rush, their front seven has consistently been top, maybe probably number one in the NFL for many years. But now that you're starting to have some injuries and some guys leave, I mean, Dre Greenlaw being the biggest loss, I think the lack of having a pass rush presence, and the lack of the ability to stop the run is going to be what ultimately is their downfall.
And also, hey, Brandon, one other thing, I think they signed the player from the Eagles today or something, or yesterday, Buff or something like that. I think they signed him for a 4-year deal. I think out of Philadelphia. So that
so that's help. That is help right there for them too.
Yeah.
Cole, what do you think? I mean, obviously we know what Kyle Shanahan does. We know what he is, kind of thing. Obviously he has shown glimpses of like a fantastic offense. But what do you think, Cole, could be the pitfall for, realistically, the real pitfall for the Niners?
Oh God, where do I start? I mean, if Brandon Ayuk's knee doesn't fully come back to 100%, like early enough in the season, like obviously at some point in the year he will be 100%, but if it's not till week 8 or 9, they could have already lost 5 games at that point, and they could be in a heap of trouble. Christian McCaffrey somehow injures both of his Achilles again. That could be a downfall. Brock Purdy, I think, is going to go back to what we've seen from Brock Purdy. I don't think last year was really an accurate depiction of the quarterback that he is, in my opinion. But the defense, you let the corner go. I forget his name. Lenore. You let him go. You let Tarvarius Ward go. Like that's like 2 key losses in my opinion on the defense. Plus Hufanga, the safety that you lost. So I think it is the defense. I think Brandon Ayuk's knee, because we don't know what Ricky Pearsall is. He was too busy, getting ambushed in a robbery. Unfortunately, I'm grateful that he survived that and that he's okay and able to play football. But we still don't know what he is because he didn't really have a full season to develop. So you can't really count on him. So there's too many question marks that we're not really going to know till about week 4, 5, and 6.
I like what you're saying on that one. All right, Shane, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess this poses for everybody, what do we realistically see the 49ers as this year in the, it's kind of a timid NFC West, as you would put it. There's no kind of clear cut kind of leader in the division in the way I look at it, other than the moves that the Rams made this offseason. But, that's another story. But, kind of where do you see the team this year and expectations on what we can see on the field?
If you look at their schedule, they got the Seahawks, they got the Saints, the Cardinals, Jacksonville, the Rams, Tampa Bay, the Falcons, Texans, the Giants, and then the Panthers, and the Browns, the Colts, the Bears, and Tennessee, and then at the end of the season they got the Seahawks. My record for them is probably going to be somewhere around probably 14-3, maybe 14-3.
Wow.
Whoa.
You're giving him a 14-win season. Whoa.
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
That's not.
I am going to say that this is the easiest schedule we've heard all night.
Yeah, you do have the easiest schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it is the easy schedule. I mean, if you look at the schedule, there's good wins, but that's my realistic.
Hey, switch those numbers around. 3 and 14, maybe.
Yeah.
I have their floor as 7 wins. Their ceiling is 12.
What do you have, Shane?
I could see them being floor 5, wins 11, just because of that defense. I think with the teams that we're going to see against the Niners this year, kind of looking at it, I think that they could burn them with a spread style, 3-4 receivers out there all day long, kind of deal, and just pick them apart.
I'm gonna kind of agree. I'm gonna agree with Cole. 7 floor, 12 ceiling.
Yeah.
But Brian, do your realistic prediction, like score wise.
That was my realistic is probably like 4. I mean, it's gonna be in the 12s. But
that's better.
The worst that they can do is have a 9. If CMC gets hurt or something happens, then they'll win 9 games. If that happens, that could be the worst thing that happens. They'll lose. They could do like they did last year and just plummet. Then
you think even if McCaffrey gets injured and Ayuk doesn't fully come out the gate hot, they can still win 9 games?
They do have one of the easiest schedules.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, but whew.
It's tough.
That's okay, but that's easy. That's going off an easy schedule based off of last year. We don't know how much teams are going to improve. We don't know that.
That's true.
Exactly.
You hit the nail on the head right there. Yes, you did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so then let's wrap this with this question up, poise for everybody. Okay. Do the Niners legit pose a threat to play in February, or are they a few years again down the road from it? Start with you, Brian.
I say a few years down the road. I think if they do make it to the playoffs, they'll lose in the first. They'll lose in the first round. That's how I think it. I think they'll come up. They'll go, okay, we're going to win this, and then they'll get an idea, and then they're going to go, oh no, we just lost.
That's possible.
I think it's going to run in the first round.
Cole, what do you say?
I think best case scenario, they win 1 playoff game, and that's if they get like a cupcake.
What do you think, Ben?
I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse. I don't think they make the playoffs at all. I don't see a path. I mean, think about it. Let's think about how much. If we're just going off of last year, think about the Commanders. The Commanders made the playoffs. Then you have the reigning Super Bowl champions. That's just in the NFC East alone. Then if you talk about the Cowboys, if the Cowboys, I mean, they never live up to expectations. But let's say they do. That's 3 teams in the NFC East. I know the NFC South has been crap as of late, but let's say that the Falcons have a good run or the Panthers have a good run, which I could actually see happening. I think both of those teams could be solid. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think you could see a wild card spot for one of those. I think that's very possible. then I think the Rams come out on top in the NFC West. I mean, there's only so many playoff spots.
What about the North?
Where is there a path? Where is there a path for the 49ers? And then you think about the NFC North, which in my opinion is the best division of football. So if you have 3 teams in the NFC North make it, and then you have 2 teams in the NFC East make it, I mean, there's no path. Where's the path
That's
for
right.
the 49ers?
You hit the nail on the head.
I'm just curious.
Realistic. You hit the nail on the head on that one. Shane, what do you think? I mean, what realistically in your eyes, Shane, do you see for this Niners team for this year?
Well, I've said it before, kind of on here on a couple episodes back. You know, when we covered, another NFC North team, or I mean West team. You know, I think this is the NFC West and the AFC South are by far the 2 weakest divisions because I might be a little biased, but I think the South will have a bounce back kind of year, and there's just too many questions in the West to kind of deal with it. I do see San Francisco being in that conversation with kind of Seattle maybe as being that number 2 team. What their records are I believe I'm gonna tag on what Ben said, might be a moot point when it comes down to it, because there's only so many solid playoff spots, and there's a lot more solid teams out there in the NFC than what we see in the West. So could they sneakily get in with that schedule? Yes, I see it, but I see a very quick first round exodus, being as maybe the 6th seed. But really being a team there when there's another team more well-deserving that played a harder schedule and is really a better team all in all at the end.
I 100% agree.
Brandon,
Look,
I got a question here. Not a question. I just looked it up. The 49ers preseason odds right now to win the Super Bowl is plus 1,900. That's what it is. And that's based off of FanDuel.
I'm shocked it's not higher.
Yeah.
It's based off,
Well, we can all just sit here and say this, and I want you to all agree, this is going to be a fantastic season for football. Which, by the way, you guys, in case you are living under a rock, but dadgum, if you are, you're I don't know why, we're only a couple of weeks away, guys. Our last episode of this series is the day before the Hall of Fame game. Football's back, y'all. It's back.
Bang! Let's go.
We cannot be more ready. Look, guys, this has been an absolute blast of an episode. I cannot tell you how much fun we have had, from our good friend Snowman, our guy Cole, Brian, Ben, Kyle, Alex, Vince. I know I'm missing other people. Who else am I missing? Everybody. We had a lot of people. I can't remember.
Anyone who showed their face.
Yeah, and by the way, all 109 comments that we had tonight, thank you guys 1,000 times. Because we have a couple comments here on the Facebook that I've added on there, but thank you guys so much. Real quickly, want to remind everybody, we will be back on Friday. This Friday, July 11th. We have a very good friend of ours. She is with the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Her name is Ku'ule Agbenyani. Definitely tune in because she's got some really good inside information with what's going on with UH. As everybody knows, I'm a UH guy. That's my team. And then next week, Shane, really quick, let everybody know, if you can, what episode 4 will take place. What's going to be about episode 4 of Training Days with Sports Nutz.
Yeah, well, episode 4 next week is going to be, same Wednesday night, 7:30, as always. But we're going to kind of slow it down, maybe take an in-depth look on the AFC East. We're going to try to kind of cover all facets of it. And I think it's going to be a great episode. I'm really excited for it. Of course, I know Ben, as a Dolphins fan through and through, is going to be on there with us.
Yep.
Pretty excited about that.
Man, we're gonna have a good time, and as Brandon said, we're gonna conclude it up. We've got the AFC East to go, and then we're on to the NFC East and a couple other teams, and then we're right into the NFC South. Kind of our bread and butter, right before the Hall of Fame game. So we didn't do it on purpose, but I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Absolutely. It's going to be a blast. And then also next Friday, July 18th, we have our good friend Desmond Johnson from Down the Tobacco Road podcast, talking Panthers, talking Falcons, talking the whole NFC South. It's going to be a lot of fun. So for everybody who tuned in tonight, for everybody who showed the support, thank you guys 1,000 times over. Brian, where can everybody find you, sir?
Everybody can find me on these little. You can find me on Tiger Stripes Media, on Odyssey, YouTube, and Kick. Kick is actually TS Media, and then you can find me on Spotify and all that. I haven't really got a podcast, but I'm going to try to start one as soon as possible. I'm just going to try to work on it. This is probably going to be me just talking sports when they come into college football and everything. So that's just my little thing, unless somebody wants to go on there with me.
Very good.
So that's where you can find me at.
Cole, where can everybody find you, brother?
Oh, man, you know where you can find me. At Flag on the Take Pod on YouTube. We are at Flag on the Take on all social media except for Twitter. We're at Flag on the Take 23 there. So, yeah, please come check us out. The best new comedic, informative sports podcast out there. I highly, highly recommend you check us out. I promise you won't be disappointed. We drop new episodes Wednesdays, but soon we're going to change that to Tuesdays and Thursdays. But, yeah, please give us a chance. I promise you won't regret it. At Flag on the Take Pod on YouTube. Please like, comment, and subscribe. At Flag on the Take on all socials except for Twitter. At Flag on the Take 23. Drop a follow. Appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And Shane, what do you tell everybody?
Oh man, as always, man, we hate that Matt couldn't be on here, and he tells everybody, don't get flagged, especially in the game of life.
Yes.
But man, it's been great. We appreciate everybody, and may the good Lord bless, and peace, love, and bacon grease.
Yes, peace, love, and bacon grease indeed. As I always tell you guys, peace up, A-Town down. Why it's the greatest sports city there ever was. Have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you on Friday. Bye.
Thank you.